Hey, Tubies! This is Bob Hickman. It is Friday. Ooh, I'm feeling it. It's been a long, crazy week for Psychic Bob. I'm so glad you guys are here. Well, listen, I want to say I'm sorry I didn't get out a video yesterday. I know for those of you new here, I try to do a video every single day. But yesterday on Thursday, Psychic Bob was swamped with private readings, had a lot of business meetings, got kind of crazy. So I missed getting a video out. I'm sorry. Hope you guys will forgive me. Even Psychic Bob occasionally needs one day off. Hope you understand. Well, I'm so glad you're here. It's Friday. And, I got an amazing subject I want to talk about with you guys today. But before we get in that, I don't know if I showed you guys this before. This is one of my Andara crystals. It kind of ties in with our subject today. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful pale green Andara. It looks a little bit like fluorite. Green fluorite a little bit. But this is actually an Andara crystal, and you can tell by its clarity and its brilliance. But I love that. And Andara crystals, as many of you know from my previous videos, are believed to come from the ancient continent of Lemuria, which was in the Pacific. And some of you said, Psychic Bob, tell us more about Lemuria and Atlantis. Well, I found some very fascinating information here. This is taken from a book called Unveiled Mysteries. And this is part of the Saint Germain book series. And Saint Germain is an ascended master. In fact, let me show you his picture here. This is Saint Germain in the purple. That's Jesus over there. They're both in this book. But Saint Germain was an ascended master who visited with Godfrey Ray King, who's the author of this book. And this book came out of Godfrey Ray King's experiences with Saint Germain. And at one point, Godfrey Ray King was taken to an underground lodge called the Royal Teton, and he met with Saint Germain there. And Saint Germain showed him some amazing things. Down in this place, they had gold and jewels and amazing things from ancient cultures preserved. And it seems that the ascended masters, in their quest to guard the history of the earth at various periods of time, preserved some of the treasures from history. And they were in this lodge that's hidden underground. And anyways, they talk about there was a giant screen there. The Ascended Masters had the ability to show people history from the Akashic records. And I wanted to read to you just a little section from this book that talks about Atlantis and Lemuria. So anyways, this is where he sees the screen. Okay, Godfrey sees the screen. He says, a blazing light flashed forth from the substance that composed the panel, and it looked like a mirror of living light. In a moment, this changed into a crystal clear atmosphere, and then it became a cosmic screen upon which living pictures in all dimensions could be portrayed with no limit to the space that could be observed. It was self-evident that everything which had or ever could take place in all eternity might be made visible on this screen if the directing intelligence so desired. The first scenes portrayed the continent of Mu. Now, just so you know, Mu is the other name for Lemuria. The shorter form of Lemuria is Mu, M-U. The activity and accomplishments of its people, and the height to which the civilization attained. This covered a period of thousands of years. Then came events that surely must have been a reign of terror to the inhabitants of that land. A cataclysm occurred which tore the surface of the earth until all collapsed within itself. The ancient land of Mu, or Lemuria, sank beneath the waves of what is now the Pacific Ocean, where it still rests wrapped in its mantle of water. Now, this is the part that's fascinating. Again, it will rise and once more absorb the life and light of the physical sun. Now, this is fascinating because I have never heard of that Lemuria is going to rise again. I have heard that Atlantis is going to rise again, but this is the first account I found that says Lemuria will rise. So this is very, very fascinating. Now, they go on and talk about Atlantis. Let me continue here. And it goes on and says, next came the growth to beauty, wisdom, and power of Atlantis, a great continent covering a large part of what is now the Atlantic Ocean. At that time, there existed solid land between Central America and what today is Europe. The things accomplished in that age were tremendous. But again, the people's misuse of the mighty God energy overwhelmed them, and as things were thrown more and more out of balance, the tearing apart of the Earth's surface by cataclysmic action was re-experienced. See, that's the sinking of Atlantis, which we talked about. Now it goes on, it says, it left but a small remnant of Atlantis, merely an island in mid-ocean cut off from close contact with the rest of the civilized world. The east and west portions of the land had sunk beneath the Atlantic Ocean, leaving only the island of Poseidonus. I don't know which island that is. That may be like Bermuda or one of the Bahama Islands. It had been the heart of the then known civilized world, and preparation was made to protect and preserve its most important activities as a central focus to carry forward certain unfinished work. In that period, very great attainment was reached, both spiritually and materially. The mechanical development of this cycle reached a very high state of achievement, and one of its most remarkable expressions was the perfection of their aerial navigation. You have to remember, this is like 70,000 years ago, okay? The air transportation of our modern life is as yet very crude and primitive compared to what was then on Atlantis. The great masters of light and wisdom made this possible for the people of Poseidonus because they inspired, instructed, protected, and revealed knowledge of great advancement in every phase of human activity. A large portion of the people became aware of the great inner God power within the individual. But as before, the human side of their nature or outer activities again usurped the great energy. Selfishness and misuse of this transcendent wisdom and power gained the ascendancy to an even greater height than before. The masters of the ancient wisdom saw the people were building another destructive momentum and that a third cataclysm was threatening. They warned the inhabitants again and again as previously, but only those who served the light gave heed. Anyways, it goes on, talks about the destruction of Poseidonus. But what's interesting is this book, who was by Godfrey Rakin, was an actual encounter. This is his actual encounter with Saint Germain. Talks about how Saint Germain, the Ascended Master, revealed the reality of Lemuria and Atlantis. I think it's fascinating. I think it's one more, evidence that there is greater truth in history than what is currently being reported and taught in our universities. So I think it's very fascinating. Now, they talk about the rise of Lemuria. This is certainly fascinating. I've always believed Atlantis will rise again. In fact, Edgar Cayce predicted that. But now we can look forward to the rise of Lemuria and Atlantis. This is going to change all of history. And I have to tell you, I feel that there's a connection with this, with the UFO revelations. So I want us to watch. I think the next 2 years, we're going to start to see more and more and more truth. Very shocking stuff. Very amazing. So let's keep an eye out. If you want a fascinating read, I would encourage you guys, try to get this book, Unveiled Mysteries. It's from Saint Germain Press, which I'll put the link below. Fascinating, fascinating books. Okay. We're going to have more about this and more about Saint Germain Press and Saint Germain also in the coming weeks. So definitely keep watching. Anyways, just want to share that with you guys today. Hope that gives you something to think about on Friday. Tell me, can you tell me in the box below, first of all, have you ever read this book? Do you know about it? Do you know about the series by the Saint Germain Press? Okay. And secondly, have you heard about Lemuria rising? This is new to me. Maybe I've just somehow missed some of this metaphysical truth, but that's a new one on me. I've never heard it until I found it in this book. And a lot of the stuff in this book I can validate as a psychic is very accurate. So I have to give a lot of credence to that statement, especially since it came from Saint Germain. So anyways, tell me, have you read this book? Do you know about it? And have you heard of Lemuria rising? New one on me. I'd love to hear if you know about it. Tell me what you know in the box below. I'd sure love to hear it. I'm so glad you guys are here. Listen, I hope you'll like my video, favorite, share it. Please, let's get the word out about spiritual. And if you're watching, will you subscribe? We'd love you to be part of our community. We have a lot of discussions here. We're all friends. It's a very fun place. You know, we're not just a channel where you come and get education. We're a community where we share thoughts and emotions and ideas and experiences. That's what we're about, Spirit Channel. So I hope you'll join us. Just hit that subscribe. It's free, don't cost anything. You'll get updates, okay? I'd sure love to have you be part of it. So, anyways, hope you'll keep it here. Tomorrow, Saturday night, we got Saturday night seance, and you don't want to miss it. So be here Saturday night for Saturday night seance. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Blessing to you. Love you. Thank you for your patience with me. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Blessings to you.